Hello dear chess friends, welcome to the second part of the video Rook and Bishop against the Rook. In a previous video we spoke about the how to playing as a attacker, because even if you reaching the best position, which was the pushing your opponent's king to the back rank, still it was not easy to making progress, because there was a lot of beautiful idea, lot of planning to winning this ending. Of course, without remembering this idea, like waiting moves, like as you're remembering bishop b3 on the filter position, it was not easy to making progress. Hope you understood what's going on. Right now, today, I want to talk about the how to defending as a black side. As you know, generally this type of the positions, I mean rook and bishop against the rook, would be draw. But it is important how you can holding. Basically there is a two-way you can defending this position. The number one would be passive defense. Second would be active defense. Usually in a tournament, in a game, we have to mix them. Sometimes you can defending as a passive. In some moments you need to be active. So right now I will tell you what's the meaning of the passive defense, what is the active defense. Just remember, usually in an ending we will catch this position, especially if we have in time trouble or in a blitz tournaments may it will be happen. So probably you have to understood well to play well, especially in a time trouble. Otherwise it would be tough. As you see, a lot of grandmasters, a lot of strong players also was not able to holding such positions. Okay, let's see. We're gonna starting from this position, right? It is right now it is a white to move, and probably, as you know, the plan would be easy. White need to push out your king to the corner, and then by putting his king or her king on a third rank or sixth rank, then wanted to checkmating on a back rank. So it will be happening by this move, rook h6 check. Probably we have to go into the e7 or d7, and then king e5. Okay, the plan is easy and clear. Right now, attacker wanted to making check on the second rank and push out our king to the back rank. Especially in this moment, white is able to put his king on the third rank, and then it will be pretty dangerous for us because there is a lot of checkmating threatenings. So right now, I want to talk about the passive defense. In this moment, you can keep your rook close to your king, and the idea is interesting. Right now, attacker is not able to push out your king to the corner, to the back rank. For example, in this case, if he make a check on h7, you can go into the d8. But be careful not put your king on an e8, because white can making pin on c6. So we will go to d8. Right now, we have a threatening to taking his rook. Probably after the trading the rook, this ending would be draw. So right now, white have no any time to put his king on a third rank or sixth rank or here e6 square. So probably he has to making check, and then we're going to the e7 again. So here white can doing a lot of things like bishop d5. For example, here check, king e7, then bishop d5. But this is not changing the position. We can putting still rook close to our king. Just be informed, we have to put the rook close to the king. For example, if you put your rook on the a7, then white can make a check and take your rook. So in this case, we have to put the rook close to our king. And right now, again, if we make a check, we will put in the king on d8. For example, if you're going back to the h6 squares, again, we will put in the king on e7. So generally, we have to put our rook and king on the second rank or seventh rank or knight files. All would be same. And as much as possible, better to put your rook and king opposite color of your opponent bishop. For example, here the white have a white bishop on d5, right square bishop. We put in the rook and king on the dark squares. So here we have no worry about any kind of the pin. For example, here in this moment, white can do a lot of interesting idea. I mean, a very beautiful trick which can happen in your game. Bishop c6. This is pretty smart move. What's the idea? Attacker wanted to limit your rook and then taking somehow your rook. You will see. Okay, usually we have to playing rook d7, rook c7, or keeping the king on d8 and e7. That would be enough to making draw. But look at here, after bishop c6, probably king d8 would be logic. There is no any issue to playing this move. White side will playing king d5. There is an idea inside of this move. Let's see some natural moves like king d6. This position looks like black is stuck and black is losing because the threatening would be checkmate on the back rank. Here we have a very beautiful trick which is a rook d7 check. The only way to holding the game. After this check, okay, white has to go into the c5. Then you can move your rook somewhere. For example, going to the second rank like a rook d2, or putting the rook to this side like rook g7. Still, white is not able to making progress. Okay, generally here, white will playing king d5. Okay, still everything is normal. We will playing king e7 and then king c5. Pretty interesting idea. Right now, white wanna go into the b6 to catch our rook. So we have to be careful. After king d6, we have to escape, like king f8 here. Probably after any kind of the king d6, we can also attack into his rook. And then, for example, he has to moving the rook like rook h2. Probably will bring the rook to the f7. And then we will defending same position, but in a knight file. Bringing the rook to the g file, keeping the king on g5, rook on g3, or rook on g5, king on g3, doesn't matter. We will be able to holding the game. But let's see what was our opponent threatenings. In this moment, after the king c5, if we're doing some normal moves like king d8 without any thinking, this move would be blunder. Because white will be able to make a check on the back rank, and after king e7, he will play king b6. This is very famous trick that you have to be informed about it, because after this move, we will losing the rook. For example, if you play king there, by the check on the d6, d8 or h6, white will be taking our rook. And then we will losing the game. So be careful about this famous trick, which is will be happening in your game by putting the bishop on c6. So against this move, you can just play normal king d8, but whenever your opponent played king c5, here be careful, because the next move would be king b6, especially after the check. So here we have to escape and go into that side, and after king d6, we playing just king g7. Hope you understood here what to do. Time to go into the active defense. Okay, for example, in this moment we played rook c7. Imagine if white playing something like rook h6 here to making same position, but here of course we are not on time to making active defense. Better to go back here in this moment, even back. Okay, let's see, for example, white played something like rook h5, and this is your time. Here, as we spoke, we have to choosing which kind of the defense. The first one, it was passive defense, putting the king and rook on the second rank. The second one is active defense. Active defense would be bringing the rook behind the opponent's king and bishop, rook c1. We will see what's the idea. Probably white will be making check on h6. We have to go into the e7 or d7, and then king e5. The idea is clear. Next, he want to make a check on h7 to push out our king to the corner. Probably after that, there is a danger position. There is a danger idea like king e6 and king d6. So here we have to avoid it. There is a two-way. You can choosing the passive defense still, or just making pin this bishop. The idea would be not allow to your opponent's king to go into the 6th rank or 3rd rank. Probably rook e1 would be also interesting, would be also enough to making draw. Okay, rook h7 check, and in this case we will put our king on e8. Very important move. Otherwise, if you're playing something like king f8, this is blunder, because white will play king f6, very strong move. The idea would be checkmating on h8. If we're taking the bishop and we're getting checkmate on h8, probably this is winning. Even this check is not useful because white playing bishop f5, and we're reaching that danger position. White have a lot of checkmating threatenings. So here you have to stay in front of your opponent's king, king e8. Right now, if white playing king e6, we will take the bishop with a check. So probably white can do also a lot of things. He will playing king d5. The idea to moving the bishop on f5, and the next putting this bishop on e6, and the next king d6 to making the Philidor position. So here we have to be careful. After king d5, we will go into the opposite side of your opponent's king, king f8. Even after king f5, also same will be happening, king d8. It's very important and crucial to not allow to your opponents to taking opposition and then making check. So king d5, we're going to the king f8. Okay, white cannot making progress, moving the bishop like f5 to set up in that position, give us chance to playing rook e7. So right now we will mixing the both defending plans together, and then it would be easy to making draw. So if you're making check there, you can play king g7, attacking to his rook. Okay, moving the rook somewhere like here, you can bring the king to the center. So this is the idea of making the draw in this beautiful ending. Hope you enjoy and hope you understand what's going on. So this is not enough for you to become actually expert on this ending. You need to play. You need to first play by yourself. You can set up it on a physical board and try to think on the position, try to understand what's going on, and then try to play with your friends or with the engine online, or even Fritz. You can train this position a lot of time, and then finally you will be able to holding this ending even in less than 1 minute. Okay, hope you enjoy. Till to next video. See you soon. Bye.